The topic is evaluating the double integrals by converting to polar coordinates. So let's do this example. Evaluate the double integral from -2 to 2. The x is from -2 to 2. The y is from 0 to square root of 4 minus x squared. Cosine of x squared plus y squared dy dx. By converting to polar coordinates. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is sketch our region. So how do we do that? This is the y, let me rewrite it. The y goes from 0 to square root of 4 minus x squared. So y equal, you want to see how the graph of y equal 4 minus square root of 4 minus x squared look like. It is the half of the circle, the upper half of the circle. How do we know that? Just square both sides. You get y squared is equal to 4 minus x squared, which means x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. This is the circle. But remember, when you solve for y, you're supposed to get minus or plus square root of 4 minus x squared. So the positive one will be that. So this will be -2, 2, 2. So I know the y goes from 0. So from y equals 0 to y equal square root of 4 minus x squared. And the x goes from -2 to 2. So how do we do the problem? Let's call this problem 1. So 1 will be the theta goes from here, theta will be equal to 0, and here theta will be equal to pi. So my theta goes from 0 to pi. My radius goes from 0 to 2. And then I have a cosine of x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. And then we need r dr d theta. So r dr d theta. Alright, so how do we do the double integral? If I call this a u, then the du will be 2r dr d theta. So I'm going to multiply by 2, divide by 2. Now I have a u and a du. So I'm just doing the inner integral. So this will be equal to 1/2. Theta goes from 0 to pi. And this is going to be 0 to 2 cosine of u du. Everything d theta. Now remember, this is not a u. This is, I'm just going to keep it that way. That's the r. Maybe I should say r equal 2, r equals 0, so it doesn't get confused. Now, this is going to be 1/2 integral from 0 to pi. Integral of a cosine is sine. So sine of u, but my u is r squared. So sine of r squared. And this is between r equals 0 and r equals 2. D theta is going to be equal to 1/2. If I plug integral from 0 to pi, if I plug the 2, I get sine of 4 minus sine of 0 d theta. This goes to 0, and this is a constant, so integral will be sine of 4 times theta. I'm going to write theta on the left side. It's going to be from 0 to pi. Don't forget the 1/2. Now plug the pi into theta. That would be pi sine over 4 minus 0 sine over 4. This again goes to 0. So the answer will be pi over 2 sine of 4, and that's the answer. And that's it for this example.